let's do some cleanup things that I've noticed. Now, I had noticed right here that this area here was angled, and you can kind of see it here. It's a little bit more clear. So the bottom of the car actually sticks out a little bit in kind of a pointy fashion like this. And so we see the little bit of that pointy fashion of it sitting out because our eye level is a little higher. If we're down lower and this was straight here, we'd be down really low looking at the vehicle. But we're up a little bit higher and looking at it down this way. And as such, we see these parts have that angle to them. And if we look down here at the bottom, this part here, the pillar piece kind of comes down a little bit here. And I'm kind of familiar with this from there's these little parts that stick down like that. And right here, which is the bottom of the thing, the line goes this way at an angle, and then it also goes this way. And that's kind of the bottom level of that white line. Remember, that was our white line we were using as a guide. And so this is kind of a continuation of that going out in that direction. So it's just a slight arc to it. Now there's another piece down beneath that, and so the bottom of the vehicle in and of itself, this also has that same slight angle this way, and then this is going up more like that. See, I had it flat on the bottom, but because of our perspective, the way we're looking at it, these kind of go up here like that, okay, instead of being straight flat. And that was kind of one of the things that I wanted to get right on that one, is that was coming up. So now these little tab things here, that's a little bit of extra. Now there is, since I lightened it, you can also see that now there's a little, you can't see, but I can, right underneath it there's a little bit of a ground effect piece, a little piece that kind of sticks down, a little black piece that's down under there, almost like a little bib on those. And so that is a structure, something that's there, but let's get this kind of cleaned up a little bit so we don't have too much. We can actually start to see it a little bit more, right? It's like, oh look, it has a congruent look. You know, this line here is parallel with this one, which is parallel with this one, and parallel with this one. Going out the other side, this one is parallel here, this one is parallel, and then this one is going up like that. And that little ground effect feature is a little rounded piece that comes down like this. It also has a slight angle down here, and then it also comes off here, a little rounded piece like that, and it just kind of mirrors this thing here. So what happens, this channels the air around the car, so it doesn't get up underneath too much. If you get too much air underneath your vehicle, then that will cause it to rise a little bit, and so then you start losing traction on your tires. And so a lot of times they'll put this little ground feature here that'll take that air and squish it out around the side. And so that's what I'm seeing when it's right over here. It's actually a little bit sharper than that, isn't it? Okay, so now I have the bottom of the vehicle looking more like what it's supposed to, like that. I did take a moment and put in my little flags on the hood that we had over here. Other things that you can do, for me, I want to, there's a chrome piece. This actually needs to come out just a little wider, like that. There's this chrome piece that we talked about, that white line that went around here, right here, right? This white line that comes here like this, and then comes up and around. And then we designated that with this piece right here that was coming up and around. And so we have that. But there's also, there's a little bit of an area, there's a white line that kind of comes to the inside here like this. And then it comes down and it disappears. Now, I'm using this as a marker, not as the actual white line. This is what's going to be kind of next to it. And then it kind of reappears down here. And then you see the side of this chrome piece right here. And the area between like there's a light area, the light area here, then there's a dark area, then there's a thin white line that kind of goes around this side here on that. Then there's the thickness of the chrome comes down here, and the interesting thing is it comes down in the angle we have right here. It comes down like this and matches up with the little bottom side part of the fender. So as that's coming down here, then this is going to wrap around here like this. I got a little bit confused. And then this is going to come down here and be the bottom of the car. And so the chrome piece has a couple of areas of thickness to it. And this one is going to do the same thing over here. So on this side, you see this big large part here, this was kind of this is the light part right here, right? The light part of the chrome, and it came and it wrapped around like that. And then it kind of had some thickness to it. It was a little thinner here, but we have it going down like this. And so that's that chrome piece coming there. And so this is the light area. Then we had a dark area where there's a thinner white line here. And it comes around. And it's a little closer right in here like this. And then this part also has some thickness in here. Do we see? And so I'm kind of drawing in the value shapes that I have. And then this is the side of the car. And so if you have your value shapes, then you'll kind of know where they go. Another little correction is that I had over here is this fender, this bumper comes around here, and it does go in the back a little bit, so it rounds up just a little bit on top. And then this piece is a little more rounded, and then this one is coming back around behind as well. There's a separation on the bumper. There's the light side, which is the top part here, and then there's the dark side down here. You can see that there's some reflection in here on the dark part where the bumper kind of comes in and across as well. So I'm going to make that just a little bit bigger to help facilitate those dark parts. I was kind of already doing it with the little chrome pieces there. That is just a little bit bigger. And then, like I said, this one has a little bit of a wrap around. I'm going to stick this out just a wee bit so that you can see that that wraps around. Okay, let me take a kind of a look here now. Now that I have those value lines there, some value shapes in there as well, I can, if I like, go back in and you can actually see the headlights through the grill here on the front of the car. That's a thing. I think I may just do that with some of the values. Let's just kind of do a quick check. Okay, let's go. If we look at the hood, there's a piece that comes up right here, right? There's a chrome piece on the side that has some thickness to it. So let's go here and put that in. And it comes up, and then it kind of ends with the top of the car. Let's look to this side. This one also has that chrome piece. You can see that's a pretty dominant feature. And so we need to have a little bit of a shape like that. And then the hood, or the top of the car, kind of comes down like this. And it's it's rounded, flat, and then rounded. Rounded, flat, rounded. Which means I need to make an alteration here. This needs to go up a little bit more, come across flat, and then round it down. So round up, goes flat on the top. Now you probably also noticed that there right in the middle there's a little bit of a division where you can kind of see that the it's a T-top, and so these pieces come off. Let's see what this is. This is 238. Let's see, Nicole, you are the winner of the very small paper award. Oh, that was over too far. And so when we look at it, we also see that there's the hood part, the top of the T-top piece that comes off, right? Like that. And then there's a little bit of a space underneath it. And then there's the black part, which is this part that I drew back right in through here on those. On the sides, when we're looking through it, the back window, I'm just going to kind of draw this in across here. We can see that the back window is pretty close to here, and then it comes and then it turns down. And so it's going to be in this area here. I'm looking in about this far, this is my guess, and then doing the same thing here. And so that's my placement for the back window. And then when it comes up here, it curves, it curls, it makes a pretty nice turn. And so the back window is going to be something like that as I'm looking in here. It does have some some light areas there. Looks like a light area there too. And so this is going to be a value shape a little bit. And then we have some other stuff in there we'll take care of when we do our values. The seats and the rear mirror on that one. The mirror, it looks like I'm going to get that guy in here. It's a little offset, and so it's going to come in here for the down part, and it sticks down just below. Oops, just below the rear window is where it's sticking down a little bit, like that. And then it kind of goes across here. Now, I can use my magic measure device. Let's do that. And so how wide is it? It's that wide. And so then I can say it goes from there to about there. And it looks like it has a little bit of a curve up and a curve down a little. It is also rounded. It's pretty big, really. And generally they're a little bit more angled, so this side over here might be just a little bit bigger than this side over here for our rear view mirror. Our seats, and those come up, the cool thing about that is they kind of correspond with the rear view mirror right here. So if I drop straight down like this, that's kind of where that seat is going to be. And interesting, it kind of comes up and it kind of goes off at an angle. It angles up a little bit. It doesn't go as far as, it only goes to here, right? So this far away from the window. So it's only going to go to about right here. And it's at an angle here as well. And then this one on this side also. Got the reflection so we can't see it quite as well. And then it's coming across. And it is also right with the rear view mirror coming there. This passenger seat looks a little bigger. Maybe an optical illusion. but they kind of come down and they angle. And so that's what I mean. There was just a few more pieces, a few more things that we needed to put in here to help us with our drawing. So yeah, so the height, as I'm looking at this one, as I'm doing my measuring, I'm looking at this one here, and I'm looking at this one here, and I'm saying to myself, you know, it looks a little bit flatter. Maybe I've gone a little bit tall. And so the window here, it looks like it's just a little bit tall in that section right here. So, Mr. White, are you going to erase? I'm going to erase a little bit here. So that went a little bit tall, which means this part right here was also a little tall. And so if that was actually this height here, from that part to the top, boom, from that part to the top, right there. And so that's about where I wanted my height come in a little bit lower. At the top, like that, and then this is going to be more of the space for the rear view window is a little down a little bit. So I'm going to do this, come across here like that, that's going to come across there. Okay. And so a little bit of correction. And I'm going to bring the mirror down a little bit here. Now the more skill area you acquire, the less actual measuring you might do. Okay, that looks a little bit better. So now the cab area is not quite as tall as it was. Okay, so I'm looking at that and I think, oh, I forgot it has a rearview mirror right here. It sticks out like this, right? There's the little stem of it. It sticks up. If you really want to measure, you can measure. And how far does it stick up? About like that. Cool. And then it has a little bit of a rounded rectangle on it. And there's a little button right in the middle. Okay, so now I'm just going to go back and I'm going to clean up some of my edges on the lines that I don't need so that I can prepare that. So that's a pretty complete outline drawing in preparation for putting in our values. Eventually we're going to put in some background stuff as well. But There's our outline drawing, hopefully, on that. So cool.